The Grand Meridian Ballroom looked like something from a dream. Crystal chandeliers poured golden light across polished marble floors. A string quartet played near the grand staircase while politicians, celebrities, and billionaires gathered to celebrate the engagement of Adrian Whitmore, heir to one of the wealthiest families in the country. Everything about the evening screamed perfection. The perfect venue. The perfect guests. The perfect future. At least, that was what everyone believed. Then a wine glass slipped from a waitress's hand. The sharp crash echoed through the ballroom, instantly silencing the music and conversations. Hundreds of heads turned. In the center of the room stood a woman in a simple black uniform. Her shoes were worn, and a silver name tag rested against her chest. Elena. Broken crystal sparkled around her feet. For a brief moment, nobody spoke. Then the laughter started. "Careful," a wealthy investor said with a smirk. "That glass costs more than your monthly paycheck." The crowd laughed. Another guest added, "Maybe it's her first time touching something that expensive." More laughter followed. But Elena didn't react the way everyone expected. She calmly knelt down and began collecting the shattered pieces. No apology. No embarrassment. No anger. Just a small, quiet smile. That smile immediately caught Adrian's attention. Standing across the ballroom, he watched her carefully. Most people would have been humiliated. Most people would have wanted to disappear. Yet Elena looked strangely peaceful. Almost as if the insults didn't matter. Almost as if she had experienced something far more painful than public humiliation. For some reason, Adrian couldn't stop looking at her. Something about her felt familiar. Not her face. Not her voice. Something deeper. Like a forgotten memory trying to claw its way back into his mind. The feeling lingered throughout the evening. As the hours passed, the guests became increasingly cruel. One socialite asked Elena if she had ever eaten food this expensive. Another joked that staff members should use separate entrances so guests wouldn't have to look at them. Every insult brought more laughter. Every laugh fed the crowd's arrogance. Yet Elena remained calm. In fact, the more they mocked her, the calmer she became. And strangely, that calmness began making people uncomfortable. Because humiliation only works when the victim accepts it. Elena never did. Later that evening, Adrian stepped onto the stage to give his engagement speech. The ballroom quieted. His fiancée stood beside him, smiling proudly. Camera flashes illuminated the room. Everything was unfolding exactly as planned. Then Elena crossed in front of the stage carrying a silver tray. A wealthy businessman deliberately stepped into her path. She stopped. The man smiled arrogantly. "Wrong place." A few guests chuckled. Then he pointed toward the service entrance. "People like you should stay invisible." The room erupted with laughter. But this time Elena didn't walk away. She slowly turned around. The laughter gradually faded. One voice after another fell silent. Then Elena looked directly at the crowd. Her eyes weren't angry. They weren't hurt. They were sad. Painfully sad. As if she were looking at people who had spent their entire lives chasing things that ultimately meant nothing. The atmosphere changed instantly. The room felt heavier. Then Elena turned toward Adrian. Their eyes met. A strange expression crossed her face. Recognition. Not surprise. Recognition. A chill ran through Adrian's body. That familiar feeling returned stronger than ever. The unsettling certainty that somehow he knew this woman. "You," he said quietly. The room listened. "Have we met before?" A few nervous laughs spread through the crowd. Someone joked, "Careful, Adrian. Your fiancé is standing right there." But Adrian barely heard them. His attention remained fixed on Elena. For several seconds she said nothing. Then she reached into her pocket. The ballroom watched in silence. She pulled out an old photograph. Its edges were torn. Its colors had faded with time. It looked like something that had been carried for years. Slowly, Elena approached the stage. Security stepped forward immediately. She raised a hand. "I'm not here to hurt anyone." Something in her voice stopped them. She handed the photograph to Adrian. The moment he looked at it, his stomach dropped. The picture showed a hospital room. Machines surrounded a frightened little boy lying in bed. That boy was Adrian, 20 years younger. The ballroom disappeared around him. A flood of memories flashed through his mind. Bright hospital lights. Doctors rushing through hallways. His mother's tears. Fear. Pain. And then darkness. His hands trembled. "Where did you get this?" he whispered. Elena's eyes filled with emotion. "I've carried it for 20 years. The room fell silent. Adrian stared at her. "Who are you?" Elena took a slow breath. Then she said the words that changed everything. "I was there the night your life was saved." Confused whispers spread through the crowd. Then something unexpected happened. Adrian's mother suddenly stood up. Her face turned pale. Panic flooded her eyes. Elena noticed. So did Adrian. And in that moment, he realized something terrifying. His mother knew exactly who Elena was. "What is she talking about?" Adrian demanded. His mother hurried forward. "Elena, please," she said nervously. "Not here." The entire ballroom froze. The secret was already visible on her face. Whatever Elena knew, it terrified the Whitmore family. Elena looked at Adrian. "For 20 years, I've stayed silent because I made a promise." Tears appeared in her eyes. But promises made to protect lies eventually become chains. The room felt smaller, darker, more dangerous. "What truth?" Adrian asked. Elena glanced at the guests who had mocked her all night. Then she looked back at him. "The story you've believed your entire life is a lie." Whispers filled the room. She continued. "Everyone believes your father paid for the experimental treatment that saved your life." Adrian nodded slowly. "Of course. That story was famous. People had praised his father for decades. Books mentioned it. Interviews celebrated it. Charities honored it. It was the foundation of the Whitmore legacy." Then Elena shattered it. "No." Her voice broke. "Your father didn't save you." The room went silent. Adrian's heart pounded. "Then who did?" A tear rolled down Elena's cheek. "My husband." Gasps echoed across the ballroom. "My husband worked at your father's chemical plant. Years ago, there was an explosion. He saved dozens of workers and was badly injured." Several older guests remembered the incident. "He received a settlement large enough to change our lives," Elena continued. "That same week, our daughter was diagnosed with a rare heart condition. The doctors said surgery could save her." Her voice trembled. "For the first time, we had hope." Tears streamed down her face. Then came the revelation. "But my husband learned about another child." She looked directly at Adrian. "A little boy who would die without treatment." Adrian felt his chest tighten. "He chose you." The room froze. "He donated everything." Several guests lowered their heads. Others covered their mouths. "Our daughter never received her surgery." Her voice cracked. 3 months later, she died. Silence filled the ballroom. No music. No movement. Nothing. Adrian felt as though the ground had vanished beneath him. Everything he believed about his life was collapsing. His father wasn't the hero. A stranger was. A stranger whose own child paid the price for Adrian's survival. Then Elena revealed one final truth. "My husband died last month." The room looked up. Before Adrian could speak, she continued. "Before he died, he gave me one final request." "What was it?" Adrian asked. A sad smile appeared on Elena's face. "He told me, don't tell him who saved him." A tear rolled down her cheek. Then he said, "Unless he becomes the kind of man who needs to know." Adrian's eyes filled with tears. Around him stood the same people who had mocked Elena. The same people who had laughed at her, judged her, belittled her. Now none of them could even meet her gaze. Because in a single moment, everything had changed. The powerful looked powerless. The wealthy looked poor. And the woman they had treated as invisible stood taller than everyone in the room. Not because she had money, Not because she had status, but because she carried something far more powerful. The truth. And when the truth finally stepped into the light, an entire legacy trembled beneath its weight.